There's two niggas I felt like backdooring me. I swear to God. And I never swear. See, I just did some shit I don't really never do. Lil Baby and that nigga Tyler. Tyler for sure. For sure. And I'm gonna show you how niggas is kind of whatever. This nigga, baby, if you want to fight, nigga, I still get in with you. What's poppin'? Because I ain't gonna lie, the disrespect that I'm about to go up off of this nigga, I don't know him. But nigga, I control this rap game,
See, that's,
nigga.
Hey, that's
I control this rap game.
I really run this rap media space, and at some point, these streamers have to realize reckless online talk comes with real-life consequences. Unfortunately for DJ Akademiks, that lesson hit home yesterday when Lil Baby allegedly sent someone to put hands on him. And trust me, you are not ready for the strategy they allegedly used to bypass his security. But before we get there, let me walk you through exactly how this situation unfolded, why Lil Baby allegedly decided to backdoor one of hip-hop's loudest voices, and how this whole thing exposes an ugly side of the music industry nobody likes to admit exists. And hold up, before we dive into this insane moment, it's important to really understand who DJ Akademiks is and why this goes way deeper than just a slap. This guy literally built a media empire from behind a computer screen, getting drunk on stream almost every night and saying some of the most disrespectful, unfiltered stuff imaginable about rappers. But here's what separates Akademiks from every other blogger out there. He actually holds weight in the industry. We're not talking about a random YouTuber with a small following. No exaggeration. This man made a career out of being hip-hop's biggest instigator. And the wild part is, it works. Akademiks control narratives in rap culture like almost nobody else. When he speaks, the culture listens. His platform reaches millions every single day, and his opinions can instantly shift how an artist is viewed. That's not hype, that's documented reality. We've seen it time and time again, where his criticism directly affects album sales, streaming performance, and public perception. But here's where things start getting crazy. Akademiks genuinely believed he was untouchable behind that screen. He thought that staying in his studio with security meant he could say whatever he wanted about whoever he wanted with zero real-world consequences. Well, real life caught up fast, and the way it happened looks like one of the most calculated revenge plays hip-hop has seen in a long time. So let's rewind and break down how this beef actually started, because it goes way deeper than most people realize. And once you understand the backstory, Lil Baby's mindset starts to make a lot more sense. Back in 2020, Lil Baby was undeniably on top of the rap game. No argument needed. He was dropping hit after hit. Every record felt like a moment. Everybody was playing his music, from kids to grandparents. He was dominating charts, selling millions, earning Grammy nods, and collaborating with the biggest names in the industry. But Akademiks, being the observant media figure he is, started noticing something fans were too caught up in the hype to see. And listen closely, he wasn't trying to tear Baby down at first. This wasn't hate from day one. Akademiks was essentially saying, you've made it. You've got the money, the cars, the houses, the jewelry, but the hunger doesn't feel the same. And honestly, when you really compare Baby's recent output to his 2020 run, that criticism isn't completely crazy. There was a noticeable drop in urgency, passion, and raw energy, the stuff that originally separated him from the pack. It's like he reached the peak and got comfortable, which happens to a lot of artists once success hits. The problem is, Akademiks didn't keep that critique respectful or constructive. He pushed it too far. He started branding Lil Baby as washed, claiming his run was over, and suggesting his best days were behind him. And when Akademiks pushes a narrative like that, it doesn't stay confined to his platform. That message spreads fast. Other bloggers run with it, fans start repeating it, and suddenly that opinion becomes the dominant conversation surrounding an artist's career. That's the power of media influence. One voice, repeated enough, can reshape reality. And that's exactly what happened when it came to Lil Baby's album Wham! Akademiks trashed the project from the jump, calling it mid, and constantly comparing it to Baby's older work, questioning whether he still had that spark. And the result? The album underperformed. And I'm not exaggerating when I say Akademiks' non-stop criticism played a role in that. That's the level of influence we're talking about, the ability to affect perception before people even press play. But wait, because it gets even crazier. Lil Baby wasn't about to just sit back and take the disrespect. He fired back. And when rappers start responding to bloggers directly in their music, you know things have escalated. Lil Baby was throwing shots in his bars, basically saying Akademiks don't have his kind of money and could still get touched. These weren't throwaway lines either. He was dedicating real space in his music to addressing academics, making it clear this wasn't just internet noise, it was personal and business related. Now here's where the story takes a turn that really shows how things operate behind the scenes. Rod Wave, being the peacemaker he is, stepped in to try to squash the beef before it spiraled completely out of control. And his involvement wasn't random. He had real relationships with both sides and understood how damaging this situation could become. Rod Wave arranged a three-way phone call between himself, Akademiks, and Lil Baby so they could talk it out like adults. And according to everyone involved, it worked. They talked things through, acknowledged each other's perspectives, exchanged numbers, and agreed to handle future issues privately instead of publicly. It seemed like a rare, mature resolution in an industry full of egos. Both sides benefited. Akademiks could do his job without constant tension, and Baby could focus on music without non-stop negative coverage. Lil Baby and his team clearly understood how powerful Akademiks' platform really is. So when Baby started preparing for his next major release, something unexpected happened. He allegedly paid Akademiks $30,000 to avoid overly harsh criticism. Everything looked settled after that, or so it seemed, because what happened next was one of the most calculated backdoor moves hip-hop has seen in a long time. The execution alone shows a level of planning that's honestly wild. The setting was a brand risk event in March 2025, and that detail matters. This wasn't random, this was a controlled environment. Akademiks were there working, surrounded by security, feeling safe in what was supposed to be a professional space. But behind the scenes, Lil Baby's assistant, K. Rich, was allegedly orchestrating something. And listen, this is where it gets interesting. The plan involved streamer Ty Lil being used as an unknowing pawn, and the way the situation was manipulated shows serious strategic thinking. Earlier that day, Ty Lil approached Akademiks over old tension stemming from 2020, when Akademiks had used his content without proper credit during the quarantine streaming era.
What is Ty Lil pulling up on me to argue about? Ak, you never tagged me in 2020. We're in 2025. You see Aiden.
He ain't.
You dap it up.
Hey, Ty Lil.
I know.
I'm like, Akademiks got a platform. It's all right. I got you.
But he's mad passionate 5 years later.
This might sound small on the surface, but for creators trying to build real brands, proper credit and tagging can be the difference between staying invisible and actually blowing up. So Tylo approaches Akademiks about it, and they end up having a real conversation. Akademiks, when he's not behind the screen, actually handles it professionally. He listens, admits he probably should have credited him, and they exchange numbers, seemingly squashing the issue. He keeps saying, "Why didn't you tag me?" referencing something from back in 2020. Someone even jumps in saying, "Why are you bringing this up now?" basically telling Tylo he already made it and should relax. But Tylo keeps pushing the point, and eventually Akademiks just brushes it off like, "All right, cool, whatever." And this part really matters. By the end of that exchange, Akademiks and Tylo swap phone numbers. Remember that detail because it becomes critical once the story fully unfolds. That interaction ended up being the key to everything that happened next because it positioned Tylo as someone with legitimate business ties to Akademiks, someone security would recognize as a fellow creator instead of a threat. And at the same time, it gave K. Rich the perfect disguise for his plan. Tylo was able to walk straight past all 8 of Akademiks' security guards because they recognize him and assume he's cleared. He goes right up to Akademiks' car window and starts what looks like a friendly, normal industry conversation, making Akademiks believe everything is smooth and professional. But hold up, this is where it gets wild. While Tylo is keeping Akademiks distracted and comfortable, K. Rich is right behind him. The security sees K. Rich walking with Tylo and naturally assumes he's good too, since he's with the streamer they already cleared. Nobody questions it because Tylo's presence silently vouched for K. Rich without a single word being said. This is where the whole setup turns truly diabolical. Akademiks, feeling completely safe while chatting with who he thinks is just another content creator, actually rolls his car window all the way down. He's relaxed, probably assuming this is just light networking or a continuation of their earlier discussion. Then, in what was clearly a coordinated moment, Tylo suddenly steps away from the window, and that's when K. Rich strikes. He walks straight up and slaps DJ Akademiks across the face, later described as a right-handed slap, then immediately takes off running. After they pulled off, Akademiks explains that the swing barely connected because he leaned back at the last second. The hit glanced off the car instead of landing clean, and everything happened fast. He's sitting there shocked, thinking, what the hell just happened? He recalls the moment clearly, emphasizing that it was a right-handed strike and confirming that yes, he was the one who got hit. The disbelief in his voice says it all. But here's where Tylo's role starts looking even more suspicious. Akademiks tried calling Tylo repeatedly that night, around 15 times back-to-back. No answer, no callback, no text, no explanation, nothing. Akademiks are calling saying, yo, what is this? I thought we were cool. Do you have an issue with me? And Tylo never responds to a single call. That's the moment Akademiks realized he'd been played. The earlier number exchange wasn't about resolving old issues, it was about creating access. Later that night, Akademiks' team decided to circle back to the venue to see if they could find K. Rich and get clarity on what just happened. When they arrived, security spotted K. Rich sitting in a Lamborghini Urus with Tylo. That confirmed everything. This wasn't random, this was coordinated. One of Akademiks' people called him and said he's in a Lambo with Tylo. Akademiks immediately connected the dots, realizing he just argued with Tylo earlier at the brand risk event. Someone asked if they should step in, but Akademiks told them not to do anything and to get back in the car. He said he'd handle it himself. And yo, when DJ Akademiks went live the very next day, this man was fully crashing out. I'm talking about a level of rage we don't usually see from him, and that's saying something considering how animated he already is on stream. He was furious, directly calling out Lil Baby, threatening to destroy his career and making it crystal clear that this wasn't something he was just gonna let go. He went straight at Baby, cussing him out, saying he wasn't even worth addressing normally, and explaining that he'd been holding this energy in for a long time. Akademiks made it clear that he couldn't take his anger out on random people he didn't know, so he was putting all that smoke directly on Baby. He kept repeating that this was the moment he'd been waiting for, and that Baby had officially crossed the line. Now here's where it gets even crazier. Akademiks actually picked up the phone and called Lil Baby directly to confront him about what happened. And Baby's response was so calm, so smooth, it almost sounded rehearsed. Baby played the situation perfectly, acting completely clueless and pretending he had no idea what Akademiks was even talking about. Straight gaslighting, full denial mode. Akademiks then tells his audience that there are only two people he truly believes backdoored him, and he swears on everything. He names Lil Baby and Tylo specifically, saying there's no doubt in his mind. He goes on to say that if Baby wants real smoke, he's not ducking anything, and the level of disrespect he's about to unleash is going to be different. Then he doubles down, repeating that he controls the rap media game, and people keep forgetting that part. And here's the wild thing. It was actually a smart, legal, and strategic play. Akademiks can't definitively prove that Baby ordered anything, even though everyone behind the scenes knows what time it is. But as Akademiks kept piecing things together, what he uncovered made the situation look even more calculated than it already was. The timing, the coordination, the access, none of this felt random.
This wasn't an emotional outburst or some spur-of-the-moment act. This looked planned. So let's start with the brand risk event itself. How did K. Rich know Akademiks would be there? How did he know exactly when Akademiks was leaving? And how did Tylo manage to be in the perfect position at the perfect moment? That kind of precision requires inside knowledge of Akademiks' movements. Then there's the Tylo situation, which only gets sketchier the more you look at it. That earlier conversation about the 2020 tagging issue, was it really about credit, or was it just a setup to create familiarity and trust? The timing lines up a little too perfectly to be coincidence. And this is the part that really locked it in for Akademiks. The night after the incident, Akademiks was out at another Miami spot called Booby Trap with Trippie Redd. They were vibing, spending money, enjoying the night, when someone came over and told Akademiks that Lil Baby was about to pull up to the same club. And this is where Baby's behavior says everything. Baby walked into Booby Trap, realized Akademiks was already inside, and immediately turned around and left. No section, no hanging around, no quick stop, just straight exit. Now ask yourself, why would he leave if he had nothing to do with what happened the night before? If he was truly innocent, why not just enjoy his night like normal? That move alone suggested Baby knew there would be tension and wanted no part of a direct face-to-face, but it actually goes even deeper than that. Akademiks started realizing this entire situation was tied into larger industry politics that most fans never see. That $30,000 payment from Baby's team wasn't just about one album being reviewed nicely. According to Akademiks, that money was part of a bigger strategy to manage narratives around Baby's career. He admits he stayed neutral because of the payment, but also makes it clear that $30,000 means nothing to him if someone thinks they can play with him. When he started digging deeper, he realized how common it is for artists and labels to pay media figures for favorable coverage. And when payments stop working, intimidation sometimes starts. Think about it. If you can't control a media personality with money or relationships, the next move is to remind them they're not untouchable. And what better way to do that than a public moment of physical disrespect that shakes their sense of security? When you really break this situation down, you have to admit the strategy was cold. Even if you hate the method, this wasn't emotional, it was calculated. It accomplished multiple goals at once. First, it sent a loud message to Akademiks that his online commentary can have real-world consequences. For years, Akademiks spoke recklessly, confident that security and status would protect him. That illusion was shattered. Second, it showed the industry that Lil Baby isn't someone who just accepts disrespect, even from powerful media figures. In a culture built on reputation, that matters. Third, and this is the most strategic part, Baby maintained plausible deniability. No direct orders, no recorded commands, just silence. That's high-level chess. Keeping your hands clean while still getting the outcome you want is something you usually see from politicians and CEOs, not rappers. And using Tylo as the access point was genius. Someone from Akademiks' own world, someone with a legitimate reason to approach him. That's how they got close enough. Akademiks' biggest weapon has always been his platform, so his response was to go harder than ever. He promised to use that platform to tear Baby apart, criticizing his music, his business, and his personal decisions. But here's the irony. This situation actually weakened Akademiks' position. Before this, he seemed untouchable. Now everyone knows he's reachable. For Baby, it was a risky move, but potentially a powerful one. He gained respect, but also put more eyes on himself, from law enforcement and the industry alike. If you learned something new from this insane situation, smash that like button and let me know what you think in the comments. Was Baby justified, or did he go too far? Make sure you subscribe because this story is far from over. I'll be covering every update as it drops. Hit that notification bell and I'll catch you in the next one, because we're just getting started. Peace.